Good evening and welcome to Weekend News. Coming up in tonight's edition, Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces showcases its naval and reconnaissance capabilities at the Lumley Beach in Freetown. British High Commissioner says Commonwealth has lasting impacts on peace, prosperity and democracy in the globe. And explosion kills one person at King's Food Company, Shell by Borough Road. These and more coming up with me, Shola Bello. Welcome back. British High Commissioner has said the Commonwealth has lasting impacts on the promotion of peace, prosperity and democracy in the globe. Guy Barrington was addressing kids during a lunch at Heaven's Home as part of activities of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting hosted by Her Majesty the Queen of Britain. Princess Gibson was at the lunch held at Joetown Western Rural and now reports.
The Commonwealth is one of the world's oldest political association of states. It is a diverse community of 53 nations from Africa, the Americas, Asia, Europe and Pacific. It promotes democracy, human rights and good governance as core values.
It's a very important mechanism for international cooperation, for the promotion of values such as democracy, of human rights, and it's had real impact in the world. It's helped to sort out some very serious problems. It played a very positive role in sorting out the end of apartheid in South Africa, and indeed in ending emergency rule in Pakistan in 2007. So it's a very practical organisation and has practical effects, and is united by our belief in democracy, human rights, and a set of common values. The meeting that's taking place in London at the moment is doing so around a theme called Towards a Common Future. And that is why it is particularly pertinent that today we have this big lunch here, because our common future is all about you, the children. And the theme of the meeting in London is about children and the importance of education. And I know you all know that education is the most important thing.
This, he said, is encouraging for Commonwealth nations for taking action to offer young people access to knowledge. Ghana High Commissioner Francis Abubakar described education as a tool that provides opportunity for future leadership.
We think the desire of the government of Sierra Leone to go that path by instituting the free and compulsory access to education at least up to 12 years is doable. You would wish to be admonished by the fact that Ghana has had to do that, and ours is up to pre-university. It is a goal. It's not to say that it's going to be rosy, but that is a goal, and you wish to appreciate the fact that there's the need to build capacity. I mean, you have all these youth, you have a huge youth bracket within the population structure. And in looking at the future of the country, if you do not succeed in building the capacity of your people, then it becomes very difficult to attract investors and to develop your country.
Chairman Commonwealth Alumni Association Sonia Abubakar Jabi said the principles of Commonwealth countries are bounded by core values that must be respected. Founder of Heaven Homes, Kiptiu Sise, said it is a dream come true to provide better life for kids in Sierra Leone. She said with support from organizations in the UK, she is providing free education for kids in the home. She described education as a human capital that will guarantee the future of Sierra Leone and encouraged parents to support their kids. A skit by the Freetown Secondary School for Girls on the ideals of the Commonwealth formed part of the ceremony.
We don't want the forces and fighting in our community. Commonwealth. We don't want the forces and fighting in our community. Commonwealth. Peace, love, and harmony. Democracy. Peace, love, and harmony. Good governance. Peace, love, and harmony. Peace, love, and harmony.
Princess Gibson, SLBC News.
A man has been found dead in a drainage at New Englandville. It is yet unclear who killed the man. His corpse was found in a pool of blood. SLBC crew went to the scene.
Mina, Lieutenant Alhaji Kefala Bangura, the officer commanding New England, and a day in our office this morning by 6:30. The unique information say they see somebody here. We get fresh wound, they die inside water. So me and the team of CID and IS, that is the intelligence wing, we rush to the scene and we can find somebody very strong. We already did got a day and don't make calls for letting them show your attendance and pick up.
In this Nakade now Tago get na Mojabi, now in this case, say them beat somebody, then kill her. Then Bobo the way they talk now the mic, they go and talk, say they don't know if 90 or 9 them.
Take a hand.
Right now, as soon as you can see that the body they don't can take so, that the New England community, the person where they found dead this morning at the gutter, they don't kind of can take the body. So that the process is going on right now. Yeah, what later what happened now so this morning?
I'm not Inspector Robin, Operations Officer New England. Okay. We can't work this morning. We get a call from the community people say body they don't have. So we can there as police officers for let we can see actually and find out what happened. Who come to meet this man this morning.
My life the end so for nothing.
One person has been killed and 2 people left with serious injuries when one of the production machines at the King's Food Production Factory Shell along Barbara Road exploded. We bring you highlights.
This is the tank will be under pressure, they supply air to the machines. Right. You know, develop the correct pressure. If it explode.
Well, really at about 11 o'clock this morning, we get a call. There's a problem in here. We come on the spot, but now a kind of explosion we see, and it's too early for we give any reason we caused that kind of thing for happen. We still live on the investigation. And for now, this is not just a preliminary business, not too confirmed. But we go say now pressure, too much pressure on the pipes. Yeah, we understand say people and the way they injure. For me, I able to see 3 people who injured. Then call her Eunice Conte. Yeah, the other Nathaniel Conte. And then the other one Junior Conte. But now more of Eunice and Nathaniel now they get a very serious kind of injury. They advised me Fambule and Sierra Leone as a whole. Because let we take safety precautions. Let we take safety measures. Let we always take safety as number one thing our own businesses there. Because if we not live in a safe condition, we lives then they at stake, we personnel and lives then they at stake, and even the machine they will work with. I'm not going to talk about the economy because if any factory go down, the economy also they go down. So safety comes first in anything we do.
The Presidential Cross-Party Peace Committee, coordinated by the Office of National Security, has concluded a nationwide cross-party peace and reconciliation meeting among supporters of political parties. The team was set up following post-election violence in certain parts of the country. The move is to foster peace and national cohesion. Ibrahim Samura went along.
Experts in peace and conflict say violence stems from the minds of individuals, and as the same individuals, resolution can be reached. This was exactly the Presidential Cross-Party Peace Committee has been championing across the country to bridge the peace through reconciliation in communities where there were reports of post-election violence just after the announcement of the presidential runoff elections, results which ushered in the SLPP to governance. The committee, led by ONS, engaged party supporters, especially from the APC, SLPP, C4C, and NGC, in a peace and reconciliation talks in Kono, Kailaung, Kenema, Bo, and Mile 91 in the Tonkolele districts. The Peace Committee first engaged the displaced supporters of the APC in Mashimbi and later dialogue with the people of Nimiyama Chiefdom, Kano districts, including their paramount chief, George Bakari Toto IV, and supporters of the C4C, APC, and SLPP in Kwedu City. According to reports, these APC supporters migrated from their original habitats as a result of fear, while supporters of the SLPP in Nimiyama Chiefdom showed the committee some of their colleagues that were seriously injured in the post-election violence. At a meeting in Kwedu City, Kono, the engagement started off peacefully on to the end of the meeting, where the committee called on them to maintain the peace and reconcile with each other, and asked the former resident minister East, Kamokaba, to apologize for his utterances and deeds when some angry youths wanted to mob him, hadn't be for the swift intervention of security forces. In their engagement with the people of Pechebonge Chiefdom, Dia Chiefdom, and Shibwema in the Kailaung district, the committee received reports of gang rape, including other gender-based violence, intimidation from police officers, former ministers of the opposition APC, burning down of houses, and physical attacks with cutlasses from APC and SLPP supporters. There were also reports that many of their supporters are in hiding, and others ran to neighboring Liberia and Guinea for their security, including the paramount chief of Panguya Chiefdom. The team noted in Kenema, Bo, and Mile 91 that the fracas took place between police and youths, which later escalated between supporters of the main political parties. Addressing the various political parties in the Southeast, National Security Coordinator, Office of National Security, Ismail Tarawali, told them that the Cross-Party Peace Committee was on a peace and reconciliation mission to stop the post-election violence in the country, saying that is a threat to the peace and security of the nation. The ONS boss said the main function for setting up the committee by President Bio in consent with Dr. Samura Kamara, former presidential candidate of the APC, is to preach peace, unity, and to foster reconciliation, admonishing them to put aside all their indifferences and be tolerant.
But we know say we go achieve what we kaya for. And that is why we are here. For bridge this gap. For bridge this mistrust. Yes, we know some of we don't do bad. But they can say bad bush naughty for three bad picking. Teeth and tongue then at the same place also. You go eat tay, you champ tay. The tongue will go between the teeth. They're better. You wound the tongue. Sunday you go spit the blood, no so. You know it will beat on, you go swell at the other one. And then continue for live. You know say because the teeth don't make the tongue where they forgot the tongue. I don't want to say it's shameful, self. This is unacceptable, and we will pray that God forgive well.
He informed them about the laws of the country and called on them to give peace a chance and allow the new government to do its work. Political parties representatives from APC, SLPP, NGC and C4C call on their supporters to denounce violence and embrace peace. They apologized on behalf of their political parties, saying that they will disown any of their supporters caught in violence in the name of their political parties, saying that President Bio will not tolerate indiscipline this time. Director of Operations Sierra Leone Police, AIG Elizabeth Toure, assured them of their security at all times, saying that they should be law-abiding and that they will investigate all allegations they have received and brought the perpetrators to justice. Chairman Human Rights Commission Reverend Dr. Osman Fona, Josephine Panda, PPRC, and the Interreligious Council underscored the importance of peace and the need to live in harmony. They told them that they are taking stock of all violations across the country. The cross-party committee is expected to put together a comprehensive report of their findings and recommendations, which to be presented to President Bio.
The Israeli community in Sierra Leone is joining other Israelis around the world to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the State of Israel. It was in 1948 that the State of Israel was established after 2,000 years of displacement. Honorable Rabbi Siraji Rollins Kamara is Goodwill Ambassador of the Israel-Sierra Leone relations. He has been speaking to the SLPC.
Before we talk about the independence, maybe we have to go back where you started. Israel has always been the land of the Jewish people, and Jerusalem being the indisputable capital of that nation. And they were sent on sojourn in diaspora for like over 2,000 years. And they only came back after Lord Balfour's declaration, and that made them a state in May 14, 1948. And as you said, today actually marks the 70th independence anniversary of the new state of Israel. And of course, for me, particularly and friends of Israel in Sierra Leone, is a milestone, is a remarkable milestone, and we want to commemorate. And so, first of all, we want to send a congratulatory message to the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the people of Israel, wishing them a happy independence anniversary. And of course, on our own side, having been friends with Israel, all Israel, we stand with Israel at all times. We are commemorating a short event at the Cotton Tree area this evening, and where we have a candlelight, and of course, sing the Atikva, which is the Israeli national anthem, and offer a congratulatory message and prayer to the people of Israel. After which, to the middle of the year or so, we'll be having some events like a cocktail, football matches, cultural show, film show, etc., etc. But just for today, we'll be having this event to light a candle, 70 candles, commemorating the years of independence, raise up the flag, and sing the Hatikva. Let me go back to the 60s. Of course, I'm happy now that I'm a member of parliament. And the house that we call the parliament today is a replica of what we call in Israel the Knesset. Knesset in Hebrew, like 120 house representative. And when you go to Israel and see the Knesset, we see a parliament, know that a parliament is a replica of that. And the Israeli built that house, and it was opened actually 26th April on the eve of our independence. And the parliament here was opened, and also Israel was involved, or they did the Bank of Sierra Leone on Second 7th Street, the post office, the building opposite the Bank of Sierra Leone, and the ministerial building of George Street, and other structures nationwide. And I would say our relationship with Israel was very, very good in those days, because Israel had an embassy here, a diamond cutting and polishing unit here, and things were rosy until the Yom Kippur War of 1973, which was initiated by the state of Egypt. and 3 other nations. And Egypt being a member of the then OAU, now AU, they mobilized to fight Israel, but they lost the battle. So Egypt came back to the OAU and complained. So the OAU made a resolution that African countries should serve a relationship with Israel, and Sierra Leone did in October 1973, and several other nations, maybe Namibia and Ivory Coast, were the least and very much reluctant to do so. But we were the third, considering all that good relationship. It was really unfortunate. And the further part of it is that the Egypt that we came and fought for in this, what we say in local parlance, Congo War, Egypt had renewed ties with Israel on September 17, 1978 at Camp David in the US. Israel and Egypt renewed their ties, and they have now full diplomatic ties with exchange of ambassadors, and we still don't want to do that. And we can see the relations with Israel is good because we have bilateral relations. If you have a service passport or diplomatic passport, you don't need a visa to go to Israel. And we've benefited a lot over the years in terms of education exchange programs, education and knowledge transfer, and technical expertise in related things. But I will not say the relationship is very, very good, because some of us want to see full ties again, wherein the ambassador will be resident here, and maybe for the first time we have an ambassador in the State of Israel. It's really absurd with our foreign policy. Sometimes when you think of the nation of Israel being controlled or directed from Ethiopia, and like you have the nation of a country and a continent of itself like Australia being under the mission of China. Maybe these are things we have to revisit. We want to see how, being a non-aligned countries, we can no longer be influenced by other factors to say, because of this, these people should not go over there. No, I think we have to move from that platform now and start to make ourselves, maybe we need new partners. And the conventional partner may have failed us, or maybe they are tied with us. And so we need new partners, and Israel is always there. Unlike for us here, when we want to ask, we go for $4 million, $6 million. I think Israel wants to develop, they want to help us develop, because from nowhere, Israel become an envy of the nations, among the nations in the Middle East. It's a first world country, and imagine 57% of the land is Negev, what we call desert, but today everything has been transformed, and Israel is a thriving economy. So I think we're proud of that, and having friendship with such a nation, they will help us succeed, so that at least we reduce our donor dependency and try to reproduce our food and other things, so that we become a country of modern 21st century.
The councillor for Ward 434, Constituency 127, Augustine Lamina Bangura of the All People's Congress, have called for rapid developments within the Sumaila Town community. He was speaking during the thank you meeting with people in the Sumaila Town community for supporting the All People's Congress Party during the past election. Here's the report.
Congress, Augustine Lema Bangura, called for solidarity and development in his ward.
I called this meeting today, so can tell me people plenty thank you for what they do for me, that the constituency and the ward as a whole. People in Milon did me from 2012, give me the full support way and the Aspire Force for the symbol under the All People Congress Party. But fortunately, they're not able to give me the symbol, the Shakal, but I will still continue to do the development things the way the community will need. I will continue to engage with people, then we discuss with the people, then the dialogue with the people, then how the community business will do before. Automatically, after all the years, and this 2018 now, I can happen for me the councillor. So I call upon this meeting. For me, I really appreciate what the people do for me. For me, I really talk to people about the way forward of the development things that have been done.
He promised that he will work with the people of his people to foster development. The chairman for the thank you meeting, Kagub Kamsin Kamara, spoke about lack of pipe-borne water and other social amenities in the community.
I believe say this councillor you go do more than what I expect say to do.
He called on his constituents to remain calm and accept that they are in opposition for the next 5 years. Other stakeholders in the community congratulated the new councillor and called on him to lobby for more developmental projects in the community.
Now wants the community. So on behalf of the Fula community in this Maila town, really we appreciate them, we're glad for them, we're ready for work with them. And if no Fula house no there, we no get well. You get for statements now.
The Sumaila town community is amongst deprived communities in the western area. Lack of pipe-borne water, poor road network, and other social amenities are huge challenges facing the community, for which the people are anxious to see them addressed.
Following a release from the Presidential Committee for the Recovery of Government Vehicles, the committee has called on officials and individuals in possession of government vehicles to hand over those vehicles. The committee has also warned individuals referring to themselves as vigilantes who have been harassing some government functionaries to stop forthwith. Isaac Ken Green is a member of the Presidential Committee for the Recovery of Government Vehicles.
Share with your viewers the objective for which this committee was set, and to provide clarity as to our task as well, because as you would have observed, there has been this new phrase of witch hunt, which has been incorporated in the Sierra Leone vocabulary recently. Our mandate is clear. There is nothing like witch hunt. All we want to do is to recover vehicles and make that available for the new people that will be coming in, so that they will be able to do their job with ease. That's all we're actually mandated to do, and that's what we are doing in a very civil, professional, and cooperative manner. That is correct. As I understand it, the entire stock of government vehicle that we take stock of is about 8,000. It's a huge number. Doesn't mean that is all those vehicles that we want to recover. We need to make that clarity. That you need to know as a government how many vehicles you have got in your stock. That is one thing. That is separate from what we need to recover, because we have, like I mentioned, vehicles in possession of people who are not meant to have it. We have vehicles who have been converted from government vehicles to private vehicles, and we need to actually find all those vehicles and make them available for the new committee.
So what was your main focus then?
Well, our main focus, the way we started, for us to have that, we need to check with the SLRSA, where all government vehicles are registered, have a comprehensive stock of all government vehicles registered under their domain. We also went to the Ministry of Transport, who actually buys vehicles and actually distribute them to the various ministries. We have actually had a comprehensive list from the Ministry of Transport. We've also made strides to go to every ministry to get a stock of their own vehicles in their ministries. And we have got a team now sat at the Ministry of Transport who are actually comparing those data's to see if they reconcile or if there are discrepancies. And if there are discrepancies, then we'll flag them up and take that up with the relevant ministries.
Okay, and people are also concerned about these vigilantes and the way certain government officials were molested by certain vigilantes. Who actually set up those vigilantes?
Well, that's an unfortunate situation, and we want to dissociate ourselves in no uncertain terms from those so-called vigilantes. They are criminals, pure and simple. We haven't got any vigilantes. There is a committee set up, and its composition include the police, the CID, and even traffic wardens. We as civilians would not go after peaceful citizens or government functionaries. It is the duty of the police. That's why we've incorporated the police. We've incorporated the CID. They, if we have information, which if they process it becomes an intelligence, they will follow that up in a professional manner.
Now, Mr. Green, it is true that some vehicles have crossed borders into neighboring Guinea and Liberia.
That's quite true.
So, what are you doing about that?
That's very much so. We have actually contacted the Guinean embassy. We're working with them, and we've contacted Interpol. As I speak to you, 400 vehicles have been intercepted in the Guinea border. So we're working with Interpol to see as to how we could retrieve those vehicles and bring them back.
You're watching Weekend News live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation with me, Shalobelo. We'll continue the news. British High Commissioner Guy Warrington has, on behalf of the Queen of England, awarded Dr. Abdul Quddus Jallow, the veterinary doctor, with Commonwealth's 47 Points of Light Awards. Dr. Quddus Jallow has been rewarded for his outstanding performance and commitment over the years. The ceremony, which attracted diplomats and dignitaries from all walks of life, was held at the vet's office situated at Main Motor Road, Congo Crossing, Freetown. Aminash Nyande Brahma has the story.
The award presented on behalf of the Queen is in recognition of exceptional service in ensuring the safety of communities across Sierra Leone. Dr. Jallow, according to Incitation, has vaccinated thousands of dogs against rabies. British High Commissioner Guy Warrington said the award is to show gratitude to selfless service in the field of medicine. This, he said, deserves recognition to motivate others, pointing out that the vaccination of dogs and their removal from the streets is not an easy task.
As part of the program of events surrounding that, every Commonwealth country was asked to nominate something called a Point of Light. And the Point of Light was someone in the community who has done the most voluntarily to help that country. And so there are only 52, there's not one in the UK, so there's 53 members of the Commonwealth, there's 52 of these people around the world, and there's only one of these people in this country. And the certificate has been signed personally by Her Majesty the Queen. And I'm not going to announce who's won it. I think the Chinese ambassador is going to be disappointed because it's not him. It is, in fact, Dr. Abdul Quddus Jallow. So, if you could step forward this way so we can take a photograph without pillars in the way. I will read out the inscription that says, as a point of light, Dr. Abdul Quddus Jallow is representing Sierra Leone in recognition of your exceptional service in ensuring the safety of communities across Sierra Leone by vaccinating tens of thousands of dogs against rabies. You are presented with the Commonwealth's 47th Point of Light Award on the 6th of April 2018. Elizabeth Barr, Her Majesty the Queen.
Chinese ambassador to Sierra Leone, Wu Peng, noted that Sierra Leone and China has a cordial relationship, pointing out that the Chinese embassy will continue to support the society. Mayor-elect Freetown Municipality Yvonne Akisoya said the control of stray dogs has been a big challenge in the city. She said the city needs to be sanitized to attract tourists, noting that the role of the Sierra Leone Animal Welfare Society is key.
It takes quite a lot of dedication and commitment to stand out from the crowd in a society and environment where many people overlook the importance of pets and the role that they play. And you've been a champion, Dr. Jallow, so your award is very, very much deserved. With respect to the project and what I understand from my very brief chat with Karen the other day, what I understand that you're seeking to achieve, and the issue of rabies in our city, and the fact that we have so many dogs which are uncared for, running as strays, causing a hazard not only to themselves but clearly also to human life, is something which really matters deeply as the mayor of Freetown City. So I'm really excited at the prospect of working with you over the course of the next 4 years. The vision is obviously broader. It touches on so many other aspects, many of which some of you may be familiar with. I'm looking at improving on our social services provision, from health, education, affordable housing, traffic management, to job creation.
Founder and Executive Director of Sierra Leone Animal Welfare Society, Dr. Abdul Gudush Jallo, stated that he has spent 32 years taking care of animals. He expressed thanks to the Queen for the honor in recognition of his service in society. Dr. Jallo attributed the increase of stray dogs in the streets to irresponsible behavior of pet owners and called on them to control their pests.
I wish I could meet the Queen and tell her how appreciative I am of the message. Please take it to her. So let's be responsible. Otherwise, we continue to spend millions of dollars vaccinating people against rabies. So for the world, almost every 10 minutes, one person is dying of rabies. For Sierra Leone, every 17 hours, one person is dying of rabies. So we really need to know what to do to be kind to animals.
Pet owners express gratitude for the establishment of the vet clinic and for the service being rendered by Dr. Abdul Gudush Jallo. General Manager Tourist Board Sierra Leone Yassim Kagbo said the increase of stray dogs around the Lumley Beach has been worrisome. He commended Dr. Gudush for providing medication for animals. Financial pledges and donations form part of the award ceremony.
The Sierra Leone police have engaged bike riders in Freetown to stay out of the central business district and be law-abiding. The meeting was held at the Sierra Leone Central Police Division in Freetown. Sheila Reffel filed in this report.
Okada accidents has been the move behind the ban of Okada riding within the central business districts of Freetown. But what remains clear is the lawlessness that continues to be displayed by these Okada riders, either because the bikes are owned by some police officers or ignored the law and used private number plates to maneuver. It is over 2 years now since the government called for Okada riders to desist from plying in the central business districts. Few months to the general elections, the level of compliance dropped drastically as some Okada riders were having field day and become lawless. It is against this backdrop that the Sierra Leone Police Central Division has engaged the Okada riders to remind them about the ban and to be law-abiding. According to the outgoing Director of Central Police Division, Assistant Inspector General Patrick Johnson, the executive of Okada Riders is fully aware of the lawlessness of some Okada riders plying the central business district areas. He said the Okada riders plying the central business areas are some of the causes for the road accidents in the central business district, and some engage in stealing and other negative attitudes. AIG Patrick Johnson urged Okada riders to be law-abiding and be respectful to their successor and his team.
We stop small. They will come full swing now. We will tap from Generite and East and up to Safecon and Lumley. And we will force roundabout. This is Okada enforcement, lawlessness of Okada enforcement. So I'm sure the incoming director will have safe hands. Then we will direct them, they will guide them as to how we do them. And these are the best format. Remember we want to start back and also, we talk because we don't want just for them about the because quick we don't forget. And all the blame na police, we police now to all canteen. For Nayogudo na police, Ibado na police.
The incoming director of Central Police Division, Chief Superintendent Sir Nepo Senesi, spoke on the role of the police and assured Okada riders of police commitment in ensuring lives and properties are safe.
So in the process make sure say people then they live in a secure environment. So now they hope that of the police, the traffic being part of it. But you know, say there we need to do alone. We always get support from stakeholders, from partners, members of the sister forces. That they happen. Because in as much as we get primacy over that, but they will always need support from then categories of people. So when I make, I always talk, say, all the same family, we always come together, discuss issues that way they affect, or relevant to the purpose of respective organizations that we need them. And I want to show that, say, I will continue for work in good faith.
Speaking on behalf of Okada Riders, the chairman for Western Area Okada Riders Union, Abdullahi Conte, pledged their commitment to readily work with the Syrian police to rebrand their union. The chairman for Western Area Okada Riders Union promised the police that by Monday they will maintain law and order by staying out of the central business district areas.
As the outgoing director say, lawless bike rider. This one will not come for bike rider again. We have to make, because inside we make tremendous work for see that say, the branding and transformation is shown within the bike rider sector, and it don't show now small. If we not get with the promise of the outgoing government, or promise of Sky Unions, or bike rider have already for take responsibility, pack to pack, area to area, for make we use uniform. But because of the promise, and the promise not go through, so we know the depends on government. We want to see that say, if we get this connection, we will work hand in hand with the police for see that say, we self get less job and the police themselves get less job.
He said that starting from Monday next week, Okada Riders at Lumley, 7 Battalion and Ogufam will start to wear uniforms.
To end the weekend news, a recap of the headlines. Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces has showcased its naval reconnaissance capabilities at the Lumley Beach in Freetown. British High Commissioner has said Commonwealth has lasting impacts on peace, prosperity and democracy in the globe. And an explosion has killed one person at King's Food Factory, Shell, Barbara Road. Well, that's all in this edition of Weekend News. On behalf of my news editor, Sheku Sumaila, I am Shola Bellu. Please stay with us for more information. Thanks for your company. Good night.